Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Eddie. I lost over 125 pounds. I've kept that weight off now for over 22 years. And so what I do is talk about mindset, health, and weight loss, and everything that helps you to be more efficient at losing weight, basically. So what I want to get into today is I want to talk about and share with you guys what my calories and what my macros look like. So just for reference, I'm about 5'11", probably a hair under that, somewhere between 5'10" and 5'11". I like to think I'm 5'11". I'm 42, right? So I lost my weight when I was 19 years old. I was almost 300 pounds. Right now I'm weighing at around 182 to 184-ish because I built some muscle. So I'm using a calculator and I put 184 because that's what I was this morning, 183 point something. So I'm going to, by the way, I'm going to link this on the bottom. So I use calculator.net. And there's a couple of different calculators online that you can use. And it's gonna ask me for a couple of other things when I go in there. If you guys wanna do this, you can. It's gonna ask you your activity level. So do you do no activity at all? Are you completely sedentary? Do you have an office job where you just sit all day? Do you have light exercise where it's about 1 to 3 times per week and it's very light exercise? Are you moderate? So it's maybe 4 to 5 times a week of exercise. And then, are you just active or very active or extremely active? Are you an athlete? That kind of thing. That's going to kind of gauge how many calories you typically use throughout the day and what we call total daily energy expenditure. That's really just kind of taking everything into consideration, how many calories you need just to maintain your weight. Okay, so when I did my calculations and I put moderate exercise, because just for reference, I work out strength training 3 times a week, typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I do have a regular day job, so I work in sales and software sales. So I don't do this full time. And so that's one of the reasons why I work with people and I help coach professionals and busy executives is because I live it every day. I have busy schedule. I travel. I have to do all of the stuff that a regular person has to do. I'm married. I don't have kids. Some of you guys out there have kids. I don't have kids, but I am, married, and I have all of the things that come with, a busy life, professional life, being married, things like that. So for reference, I put that I'm active moderately which is 4 to 5 times a week, because I do 2 to 3, usually 3 full body strength training workouts. They typically last anywhere from 40 minutes to 60 minutes. If I'm really taking my time and I'm lifting heavy and I'm taking good, 3 to 4 minute breaks between heavy lifts and I'm only doing maybe 4 to 6 repetitions, then I'm taking bigger breaks because my central nervous system needs it. If not, if I'm doing more of a 10 to 12 rep range, then I'm taking more like 1.5 to 2 minute rests. And then I also walk every day. So I try to get anywhere between 7,500 to 10,000 steps every day. Now, that is a challenge for me, I'm going to be honest, because I live in a suburb in Miami. I don't live in a city. I used to live in Chicago, and I used to just walk downtown and just go everywhere, and it was amazing. I would get 15 to 20,000 steps a day because I would just, put my AirPods in and go out and walk around. And it was incredible, and I love it, and I miss that city life. So now I'm in a suburb where you have to drive everywhere. So what I do is I'm lucky enough that we have a room that we converted into a home gym, and so I hop on the treadmill, and I try to do as much as I can in little 10-minute, 20-minute little spurts here and there. I try to walk around the house, I take the dog out, things like that. All the basic stuff that you can kind of fit into your day. And then I actually, if you guys are returning to the channel, you'll notice that my background is a little different. It's because I actually moved into another room in our house, and I actually built a little home office here, and I have a standing desk. So even though I'm sitting right now, this desk actually moves up, and I can actually take meetings and do all of the stuff, or even record these videos while I'm standing up if I really wanted to. So that's kind of cool. I've always wanted a standing desk, and I'm excited about that. Back to the calories. So I'm going to tell you what it recommends that I do in terms of total calories, and then I'm going to break it down from a macronutrient perspective. So how much protein am I having for, a male that's my age, that's my weight, that likes to live a healthy lifestyle, but isn't kind of trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm not going into physique competitions. I'm not trying to compete against anything. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself in a sustainable way that's not going to drive me crazy while I still have a full-time job, while I do this YouTube thing on the side. That's really what I'm after, is kind of how can someone that's really busy, an executive, a busy professional, busy moms and dads, things like that, people that are just, they have life, right? And they want to just kind of do their best to be healthy. And so that's who this is for. And then my goal. So it could ask you a goal of, do you want to maintain your weight? Do you want to have mild weight loss, which is about half a pound? Do you want to have more regular weight loss, which is maybe a pound? You can kind of pick your selection. I just put maintain my weight because right now what I'm after is I want to eat the calories that are going to give me the energy that I need to have really good workouts so that I can get stronger. And then I'm hoping that I can actually do some recomposition of my body. So I want to maybe drop a little fat, gain a little muscle, get stronger. In order to do that, I kind of need calories, right? So I'm not really trying to lose weight. I'm trying to just kind of recomp and really gain muscle, lose fat. My weight will probably stay around the same. But if I gain a few pounds of muscle and lose a couple percentages of body fat, then that's great. For reference, last year I got really down to around 6 or 7% body fat based on the latest in bodies that I did. Right now I'm at around 13 to 14% body fat. So I'm at a healthy place, but would I like to get a little lower? Yeah, sure. So that's what this is about. This is about getting stronger, but maybe dropping a little bit of that body fat. And so when I calculate this, it's going to give me a total for me of 2,813 kilocalories or calories for all intents and purposes. I'm going to post this up here so you guys can see it. In terms of protein, I recommend people shoot for 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So the reason why I say that is because science says that we only need around 0.75 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, so a little bit less than that. However, it's kind of like people when they say shoot for the stars and you'll land on the moon or something like that. The idea is shoot for 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So I weigh 184. I'm going to shoot for 184. I'm going to try to get that from all regular whole foods. I do have protein shakes now and then. I don't have ever more than one protein shake or more than one protein bar, but I'm going to try to get all of that from regular whole foods, chicken, steak, turkey, your basic stuff, yogurt. I have a lot of Greek yogurt. So I'm going to try to hit, in this case, close to 184 grams. In this case, it's telling me to hit around 172, which is just fine. It's right in that threshold, right? So anywhere between 170 to 180 grams of protein, right? So after that, the biggest question I get is, well, what about carbs and fats? I want to lose weight, right? So I want to, do I need to reduce carbs? You don't need to reduce carbs. I'll give you this pointer. Depending on where you are in your life, depending on how much stress you have in your life, you're going to want to play around with the amount of carb intake that you have. The reason why I say that is because when you look at stress hormones, and the main stress hormone that everyone knows about is cortisol, right? Cortisol is going to go up when you're stressed because it's kind of that hormone that's going to release a cascade of other hormones that are going to help you to be your best. That fight or flight response, that stress response, it's going to help you to be your best. Think about back in the day when there was a saber-toothed tiger, it came out of the bushes and it was going to try to eat you. Your cortisol would spike up. All of your other hormones would also spike up to get you to move, to get, action, right? You need to run away. You need to hide. You need to fight, right? Fight or flight. That's why it's called that. Now, the problem is these days we don't have saber-toothed tigers jumping out at us from the bushes. However, we do have bosses, we have jobs, we have, if you're in sales like me, you have quotas and deadlines and things like that are real worries, right? You worry about this stuff. And so that causes stress. You might have family problems. I've had stuff with my dad, which, deals with some mental health issues, and I've had to deal with that. That's a really big stressor in my life. And so when I know that I'm stressed with work, I'm stressed maybe with home life, I'm stressed with things from my dad, whatever it is. If I'm really stressed, then I'm going to try to keep my carbs at a pretty decent, level. Doesn't mean it's going to be high, but it's not going to be low for sure. I'm not going into a keto diet. Why? Because when cortisol is high, one of the things that drives that stress hormone down is insulin. And what can we do to drive insulin up a bit? We can have some carbs. So carbs are going to help you when you're a little more stressed than usual. So keep that in mind when you think about the first step is get your protein figured out, right? Around 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight, right? If you want to weigh 180 pounds, aim for 180. If you fall around that 160, 170, you're in great shape, right? It's going to keep you full. So it's going to help you lose weight if that's your goal. It's going to help you maintain muscle. So if you're trying to build muscle or maintain muscle, That's going to help you with that goal. And then what you want to do is you want to look at your carbs and fat. With your carbs, put it wherever you want. You can literally take the rest of the remaining calories and split it up equally between fat and carbs. You can have a little lower fat and a little higher carb, or you can do the reverse. It's up to you where you are in your life, what your preferences are. Maybe culturally, a lot of the foods in your culture are more carb heavy. So maybe you do better with a low fat diet and a higher carb diet. It's really up to you guys. You have all of the liberty in the world. And this is good news. A lot of people that are keto zealots, they're going to say, oh, eliminate this, eliminate that, eliminate sugar, eliminate carbs. When I say carbs, I'm mostly talking about healthy whole food sources, potatoes, white potatoes or sweet potatoes, white rice, things that are whole foods, right? Oatmeal, even though some people in the comments will kill me about saying oatmeal because it, sucks things out of your bones and all that stuff. If you follow biohackers, you're going to get scared of that stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'll have oatmeal every now and then. If I feel like it, I kind of like it. So those are things that you need to consider. When it comes to fat, the only recommendation I'll say is you can kind of have that number wherever you want, but you don't want to go too low. Specifically, if you're over 30, over 35, your testosterone, if you're a male, your testosterone is going to start to dip a little bit as we get older. I know what it's like to feel, low testosterone. I've had my testosterone when I was chronically stressed and really, really messed up back in 2015 with stuff from my dad and other stuff going on and job stuff. I was really stressed out and I ended up having testosterone levels in the low 200s. And that feels like garbage. I didn't want to work out. I didn't have any zest for life. I had no libido. No sexual drive. It just sucks, right? So you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're so low fat, because fat is the precursor to testosterone and many other hormones that are very, very important to keep you feeling like a man, right? And for women out there, same thing. Fat is the precursor to a lot of the different hormones that you need to stay healthy as a woman, specifically as you get into older age, over 35, over 40. Mainly the people that I usually talk to in this channel is people that are around my age. I'm 42, so people around over 30, over 35 that are kind of running into some of the same things that I've already been through, right? Or I'm going through now. So at the end of the day, you look at, for me, it's telling me 2,800 calories, basically. I'm going to have around 170 to 180 grams of protein. That means this is telling me 80 grams of fat, which is probably the minimum. Of 60 to 80 grams of fat is probably the minimum I'd want to get to for me and my weight and my height and my age and stuff. And then it's telling me 375 grams of carbs. If I want to have less carbs, I'll be honest with you, I never have 375 grams of carbs. I usually stick around 2 to 250, and I bring the fat up a little bit because I like avocados. I like almond butter. I'll have these Greek yogurt bowls and I'll put some banana in there, chopped up, sliced up, and then I'll put in some almond butter, because I like it. It makes me happy. And so it's up to you. It's your preference, right? I'll put the link in the bottom so you can go to calculator.net. There's a bunch of other ones. You can use any calculator you want online. If you do know your body fat percentage, for me, I know right now that I'm somewhere around 13 to 14% body fat. Then what you can do is you can go in and use what's called the Catch-McCardle equation. So I'll make sure that I put that on the bottom so you know how it's spelled. But there's a couple of different formulas out there. There's the Mifflin-St. Jean, there's the Catch-McCardle, and there's a few others. Only some of them use your body fat percentage as one of the factors to give you your calories. Because if you have a low body fat percentage like I do, you have more muscle mass, and more muscle mass, it needs more calories. It's more metabolically active than fat. So if you have more lean mass, which is a good thing, then you're going to burn more calories at rest. Keep that in mind. If you do know what your body fat percentage is, then you can use the Catch-McCardle equation, and that's going to give you a little bit more of an accurate number. So again, this is just for someone who wants to figure out how much should I be eating, whether it's to gain a little muscle, whether it's to stay where I'm at, or whether it's to lose weight. And then how do my macros need to look like for me to optimize what I want to feel like, whether I want to get stronger, lose weight? If you want to lose weight, you don't want to lose muscle. So you want to make sure your protein is the number one thing that you need to focus on. And then after that, you can balance out your carbs and your fats as you wish. It's personal preference. So go from there. Hopefully this was helpful. If you want to know more about my story, then you can go here and check this video out next. And if you want to know about my coaching, I do very limited coaching because I have limited time, and I do have a course available. Both links are in the description. Go ahead and check those out, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.